Tonight, we will discuss some of the top headlines of 2009, including in-depth analysis of our top 4 stories of the year: Afghanistan, healthcare reform, the economy, and of course, President Barack Obama's first year in office. That is where our special begins.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully.
that I will execute
Faithfully the office of President of the United States.
President of the United States faithfully.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
On January 20th, 2009, Barack Obama became the 44th President of the United States, the first of African-American heritage, and it was a busy year for the president. He reached out to the world's Muslims in a speech in Cairo on June 4th. On August 6th, President Obama's pick for Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor became the 3rd female and the first Hispanic to sit on the U.S. Supreme Court. And on October 15th, the president's approval ratings in our Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll fell below 50%. Let's begin our review by introducing our panel tonight for our special New Year's broadcast, syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. It was quite a year for this president. Charles?
And it began with this wonderful festival of Inauguration Day, where I think the pride people felt across the country was near universal. Electing the first African-American, it was sort of a transcendence of our history, a vindication, really, of the American experiment. And one other reason why the joy was universal, a more cynical one, is that it wasn't until a month later at the joint address, his address to a joint session of Congress, that Obama revealed how much of a leftist he is. Because remember, in the transition, his appointments were rather centrist, his economic advisors and his national security team. But then he made this remarkable speech to Congress in February, in which he basically said, I'm here to do something. I want to remake American healthcare, education, and energy, which meant essentially turning America into more of a European social democracy than the America that we had known. It was the most radical speech I think a president has given in our lifetime. It was a bold, I think, a courageous declaration. He's not hiding his intentions, but that's why we have had such a clamorous year with so much discord and really high decibel debate.
Charles?
I think it was on international affairs, this reset, this idea that he was going to remake the world has not worked. I think he's had a really unfortunate first year. And one hopes that he'll learn from empirical evidence. I'll give you one example of how the outreach, the obsequiousness, the apologies, all that, what effect it's had. In Copenhagen, in a rather underreported story, he arrives late, and he wants an agreement with the Chinese premier. So, but he makes a strong statement on arrival that the Chinese have to allow inspections. The Chinese are insulted, and at the meetings that he schedules with the Chinese prime minister doesn't show up. He sends a deputy to the first meeting and an even lower level associate to a second. The same with Iran, where Obama has been rebuffed again and again and again. With the Russians, he offered a huge concession on anti-missile defense in Eastern Europe. He got nothing in return. You wonder how long this process, and the promise always is, well, we are planting the seeds, it takes a while, we have to relax America's image. When the world loves us again, we're going to get cooperation. Hasn't happened, and you wonder how long he's going to wait. Look, I agree there hasn't been a lot of the usual Clinton drama, but I don't see any achievements. She was cut out in a sense, by having all these czars, Holbrooke in charge of Afghanistan and Pakistan, Senator Mitchell, the Middle East negotiator, and also Obama taking control of the major issues himself. You know, she had her embarrassing episode in Russia on the reset issue, but I think what was most important was that when she went on the first visit to China and she actually played down human rights, it was a message from the Obama administration through her that would apply across the board. The administration has been extremely weak on that, and unfortunately it hasn't received anything in return.
Charles, was Dick Cheney really the point man for criticism when it came to the Republican side?
He was, and I think it was remarkable how successful he was, given the history and how the media and others have treated him. He actually, there was dueling speeches. There was a Cheney speech, and then Obama spoke within a few hours of each other, and Cheney was the winner on that. And I think the effect he had was that, A, he legitimized criticism of what Obama was doing, which I think was rather lax, but secondly, I think it actually inhibited Obama. He's kept some of the policies that the Bush administration had in place, detention without trial, rendition. He's tried to do the Guantanamo, which of course he committed himself to. The most egregious thing he did, of course, was the putting of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, promising him a trial, a civilian trial in New York. But generally speaking, on the major issues of protecting America and the stuff the Democrats had attacked in '08, I think he's been rather moderate, and there's been a lot of continuity. In a sense, it's almost as if it's the tribute Obama is paying to the Bush administration, adopting indeed what it had denounced in word.